This should take us to Sam. Yep. Any exclamation points? Nope. Yeah, don't expect anything new to crop up around here, but every time I say that, something new crops up, because we do need to go to Hovarl next.
Ryder, one of your father's memories is available.
Let's see it.
A moment. There is an added layer of security.
What was it Gian Garson said? The code word is fulcrum.
That worked. This is the last memory your father encrypted, from the final planning stages of Hyperion's departure.
Castus, thanks for calling. Not a lot of people still admit to knowing me.
I owe you. Those were good days on the Citadel, Alec. I checked with my son Garrus. He works there now, CSEC.
And?
He says the Council thinks Commander Shepard's story is bogus.
But?
Privately, I've heard they're starting to wonder.
This threat, they're called Reapers?
Shepard's word for them. Something about a cycle, an extinction event that happens every 50,000 years, galaxy-wide. And supposedly the alarm clock's about to go off again.
Unbelievable.
I know. But according to Garrus, Shepard's as level-headed as they come. Takes after you. And it's heaven. So, if the commander says these Reapers are coming, I don't want to be around to see them.
Thanks, Castus.
Take care.
Yes?
I checked around. There might be something to this.
If there is a war, the scramble for resources will be on a scale we've never seen before. The chaos will be monumental.
We should accelerate our timetable.
They will keep the reason quiet. No need to alarm anyone. But the arcs must be underway before any fighting starts. We can't get caught in the crossfire.
Agreed.
Is there something else?
Years ago, you mentioned salvation for a lot of people. You knew this was coming.
I knew something was coming. In theory. Shepard made it real.
And now that you're right,
We'll need a new home. We're going to be all that's left of civilization.
Sam,
Yes, Pathfinder?
track down my kids. Tell them their old man needs to talk. It's urgent. And how is Ellen?
She remains in stasis. As you hoped, it has suspended the progress of her disease.
Make sure her pod is on the Hyperion. Don't use her real name. I'll tell the kids when the time is right. Sam, transfer Pathfinder access. Encrypt memories. There's still hope for your mother.
Mom is here? Alive?
Alec blocked all knowledge of this memory. I now recall his directive to put Ellen into stasis. He hoped it would halt further progress of her disease until a cure could be found.
Sam, this is the best news I've heard in a long time.
It is indeed cause for optimism, although Alec did not want to raise hopes prematurely. This is the reason you were made Pathfinder, to see the process through.
Where's Mom now?
Here on the Hyperion. Ellen is in a stasis pod under a false name, Elizabeth Riley.
So this was Dad's plan.
Alec could not live with the thought of Ellen recovering, only to discover you had died. He sacrificed himself to ensure you and Sarah could one day be reunited with your mother. He was also concerned that what he knew about the Reapers and the Benefactor remained secret. He entrusted you with this knowledge. Additional logs with pertinent information are now unlocked in Alec's quarters.
Now we know what Gian Garson meant, that something big spooked the Benefactor. It was these Reapers. What do you know about them?
A Spectre operative in the Milky Way, Commander Shepard, launched an investigation in 2183 into the existence of an ancient race known as Reapers. According to Shepard's information, the Reapers invade the Milky Way every 50,000 years to destroy any advanced organic life. Allegedly, this cycle has been occurring for millions of years. Shepard claimed the Reapers' return was imminent.
But why was Jian Garson murdered?
Recall Garson's words about the benefactor. Now they're moving 100,000 of us to Andromeda. I hope it's all for good, but I have my doubts.
What does that mean? Who was, or is, the benefactor?
Unknown.
That was over 600 years ago. Was Shepard right? Did the Reapers come back?
Additional logs in your father's quarters have unlocked. Their implications are troubling. Your father believed it prudent that you have this information should anything happen to him.
Got it. I need to go find Mom.
Well, there's a sufficiently climactic final entry. No big revelation moment with that involved the family itself, and the sister wasn't here for it, which seems like a problem in its own way. The sister didn't get to witness it, although I guess maybe I'm witnessing them all in first person via my implant, so I guess she would have the implant too, so couldn't it be broadcasted into them also? I'm not entirely clear on that. There's supposed to be new stuff in here now. A little bothered by the Garrus connection. It makes sense, generally, to have a connection to Shepard. And so Garrus' father is one way of doing things. It's a character that never shows up at all, I don't think, in the previous trilogy. They just talk about him. I think Garrus had stories about him, but that was it. I think. So it's one way of getting this credible information, like fourth hand or whatever, from Shepard about the Reapers. And that could help motivate some of the decision to go through with the Andromeda plan. I almost said the Andromeda. For a second, I thought I accidentally said the name of a book, but that's called the Andromeda Strain. Never mind. So that it makes sense that it would push them. Sure. It always feels weird though when there's like a weird thing made by other people that is like potentially bastardizing an element of a thing that you like. So like, don't drag Garrus into this. It's kind of like the idea of like how nice it was that Han Solo and the Millennium Falcon never show up in the Star Wars prequels in any way. So it's like that character and his ship are just kind of unpoisoned by the whole thing. So like, at least Garrus wasn't shown on screen. That would be like, oh no, stop. It was already weird enough that Liara is in this office. Freaking, you can't have connections to Liara and Garrus. And like, it starts to get weird how many people from Shepard's crew have connections here. Just out of all the people in space, because we also, of course, already encountered the son of the bounty hunter, Zaid, and there might have even been a few other connections I'm forgetting at some point. I don't remember if anyone mentioned Rex outright, necessarily. But yeah, it's decent climactic, though, to have the reveal about the Reapers and explain that. Man, it'd be disappointing if somebody played Andromeda first and went back to the original trilogy, because hearing about the Reapers in this game would really kill the gravity of one of my favorite scenes in the history of games, which is when you talk to a Reaper for the first time in Mass Effect 1 and how excellently all of that is handled from a dialogue perspective and story perspective and even like sound perspective. Like, it's an impactful moment. But frankly, the damage has already been done because so many people are always told to skip Mass Effect 1 and play Mass Effect 2 first. And because everyone's like, Mass Effect 1's the bad one, just start with 2. And I'm like, no! And so all those people also missed their chance to find out about the Reapers the best possible way.
Your father's personal logs.
We've just arrived in Andromeda. Before the rest of the Hyperion wakes up, I've checked our comms for any signals from the Milky Way. Looks like sometime in 2186. Everything went to hell. We got out just ahead of it. Commander Shepard was right. And so was our mysterious benefactor.
Alec, this is Jian Garson. For the record, year 2185. It's about Fulcrum. I'm on the Nexus and we're going into stasis for the voyage. Looks like you're already asleep. I'm very uncomfortable with our benefactor, and the fact that we still don't know who they are, and all these lives in our hands. I should have done something sooner. This is all very troubling, Alec. Let's talk as soon as you reach Andromeda.
Gotta wonder who is the benefactor. Are they... Wow, that's something weird going on the screen over there. But, like, are they the elusive man, for example? Are they someone who has ridiculous resources in the original system, which Yeah, basically would have been the Elusive Man or the other guy, the Shadow Broker, are pretty much the two people that come to mind as being the ludicrously either rich or resourceful characters that could accomplish ridiculous things. But they both die, is the issue. You see both of them die in the series, unless one of them was somehow not the real them. Like, are we gonna have a ridiculous, like, it was a clone type thing? Or, like, are we gonna... Or is the Elusive Man on this... I mean, not the Elusive Man. Is the benefactor on the ship right now? Like, is it like Alien... Wait, that movie wasn't called Alien anything. Is it like Prometheus, where the lead, like, the guy that runs the entire, like, evil corporation of the alien universe, Weyland-Yutani, he's just on the ship. Like, old man Weyland-Yutani is just hanging out on the ship, and is a character that went on this trip with everyone and to seek something. And, like, what if the benefactor is one of these anonymous people, and, like, they've just melded into society to and pretended to be among the group? Is this a new message, or is it just a weird error? What is this?
Jen, I got your message about Fulcrum. It's now 2819. We reached Andromeda but have no sign of the Nexus. I have the same concerns as you. In all likelihood, the Milky Way... Well, something terrible happened there. At least the benefactor spared us from that. But why keep hiding? Something's off. But we've got bigger problems at the moment. Habitat 7 may be a bust. Finding a home is all that matters now.
Oh, it says message to Gian Garson as opposed to from. That's the difference. Yeah, whoops, missed that.
Hello, Alec. This is Liara Tassoni, and the year is 2186. I don't know if you'll even receive this message, but we corresponded years ago. I remember you spoke about a plan to settle Andromeda. I don't know if your arcs made it out of the Milky Way, but the worst has happened here. I'm with Commander Shepard and a brave crew. We're trying to build a weapon to turn the tide, but I fear that the civilization you remember, the people of the Milky Way as you knew them, could be gone forever. You may be all that's left. Please, don't forget us. Keep us alive in your hearts. And tell your children of the wonders that once were. On behalf of the crew of the Normandy SR-2, this is Dr. Liara Tassoni, signing off.
Did I misinterpret the timescale here? So, according to the transmissions, he said that in 88, I believe, they said... I'm pretty sure he said in 88 that the something went horribly wrong, or something, like everything went to hell. But then that message was like, we're building a weapon in 86? 2 years earlier? Mass Effect 3 didn't have a time duration of 2 years, did it? That's always the nebulous thing in these games, is you can't always quite tell how much time is supposed to be passing over the course of each game. It's often implied that Mass Effect 2 might be a 6-month duration, for example, maybe. But generally they're like, this game takes place during this year, whatever that means. And then there's some span of that year, like, presumably it's all less than a year for each game, and it just takes place within the confines of that particular year. But they didn't spend 2 years making the Crucible, did they? There wasn't time. Not that kind of time, I don't think. I certainly don't think they imply that kind of time passing. So maybe that was maybe I misheard something or misread something, but I'm pretty sure they said 86 and 88. And I don't think that works.
This is Paladin Command to all Turian units within range. Under catastrophic Reaper attack. Primarch Fedorian is dead. Ground units are searching for the next in succession. We'll advise when. Everybody get down!
Alliance personnel, please stand by for an emergency flash traffic message.
This is a galaxy-wide alert for all human territories. Fleet Admiral Stephen Hackett has declared threat condition Saber 1. Enemy presence confirmed in Sol System. Earth under Reaper attack. I say again, Reaper attack is underway. Instructions to follow on coded channel Crimson Tacit. May God save us.
I'm securing these Milky Way reports. This is the only copy, and I don't want it getting out. Whatever happened was 600 years ago. Someday we might break the news to everyone if the time's right. I guess we always knew there was no going back.
Definitely troubling. I guess the logical next step is to head over to my sister to talk to him about updates. Talk to her about updates. So I take issue with a few of the little details here and there, but generally I'm pretty cool with the whole receiving... The way that the messages are kind of handled, I suppose, though, just the acknowledgement that something happened back there. But it does raise some questions about the quantum entangled communicators, like... How did we get those transmissions? We woke up and we had those transmissions. So I guess that is mostly just frustrating by the lack of explanation with the QECs. Because you can't just sit down and ask anyone about it. So I can't answer my questions, but I guess the implication must be that our QECs still work, and it's just that they're tied... or at least they're hypothetically still functional on our side, but they're tied to QECs on the other that are back in the Milky Way, and that those QECs are destroyed or gone somehow and compromised, and that's why. There's just details that are not specified, frustratingly. It's up there with how, is she gone? She's not in bed. Huh. I guess she moved. Presumably. But, it's up there with the freaking Quarian, I mean the Geth telescope. I'm like, where it's like, no, you can't just throw that one sentence at me and make me accept it. We need to talk about this for longer, and you can't.
Why do I feel so crappy?
The human body wasn't designed for this. Take it easy, and you'll get your bearings back.
Lucky Solarians just wake right up like it's no big deal. Is that my sister over here?
There you are. What's going on? Well, here's the pod you told me to find. What's so important about Elizabeth Riley?
If you could have one person back in your life, who would it be?
Mom? No question there. Wait a minute. Elizabeth Riley? The initials. E.R. Are you saying?
I saw Dad's last memory. E.R. is Ellen Ryder. He brought her along. Sarah, it's Mom.
Oh my god. How is this possible?
Apparently, putting her into stasis also put her disease on hold.
Its progress has been halted. Alec put her in stasis after she fell unconscious in the hospital.
This is amazing. Dad's stubborn streak finally paid off. I could hug him. And then scream at him. He should have told us about this.
Dad was being Dad. I'm just glad she's still with us.
We have to wake her up.
That's inadvisable. Although Ellen is alive, reviving her would trigger the disease, which would prove fatal.
Can't we cure her, Sam? It's been 600 years.
That was your father's plan.
What do you mean?
Alec hoped that in Andromeda, we would discover new scientific insights that could provide answers. Our journeys in Helios have indeed provided valuable genetic knowledge, information that could lead to a cure. But patience is required. For the moment, enjoy the fact that she is still alive, and that your accomplishments will one day save her life.
Waking her up will be fun. Surprise, Mom, you're still alive. Dad put you on ice.
And, almost forgot. You're in Andromeda now.
An unusual way to greet your mother, but I will defer to you. My original purpose was to ensure the survival of Ellen Ryder. It is a mission I hope the three of us will one day fulfill, together.
I remember I had this whole dynamic planned in my head. The pod's gone. Huh. I had this... Oh, there's Elizabeth. I thought she was over there. Whoops. I had this whole dynamic planned in my head where Atlas Ryder was going to be... I almost said Alec Ryder. Whoops. That's the dead father. I was essentially planning more of a Paragon approach to Atlas Ryder, and then Sarah Ryder was going to be more of a renegade character, and like she's going to be reckless and compulsive, and he's going to be restrained and thoughtful, and there's gonna be like a dynamic if the game let me roleplay them both or anything like that. Instead, well, at least she's talking now.
Hang in there, Mom. We missed you.
That might explain if you're wondering why he's kind of clean cut and she's like shaggy and messy, and she even has like they're hidden away under all the mop of hair, but she actually has like some face tattoos, like distinct difference between the two. Where he has some scarring, where that's about it. Because they're both adventurous types, so scars make sense, but they have generally different approaches. Does Carlisle know?
I'm glad to see you and your sister back together finally.
Now that she's awake, what's the prognosis?
Everything looks good. Sarah's a fighter. Her recovery had more to do with that than anything I did. Though we need to keep her around for observation. Give her time to recover.
That's all, Harry. Thanks.
I'll be here if you need me.
Back again?
Well, I should let you rest up.
Watch yourself out there. I can't keep saving your butt like this.
Looks like that's it for now. Alright, off to Havarl we go, with the revelation that our mother is now still alive, as it turns out. And maybe one day we can cure her disease, but I wouldn't put tons of faith in that right away because, well, never mind. They might... I'm thinking logically, but logic might not apply here. I was thinking, like, logically, we're not going to just suddenly make massive, ridiculous scientific progress. Like, we're too busy fighting for survival and being totally screwed as far as the initiative goes, generally. But the Ket have ridiculous genetic technology, so maybe we'll talk to the Ket and just find out. Not talk to the Ket, but maybe when we defeat the Ket or something, we'll gain important information access of some kind that will lead to us being able to cure our mother of disease, and maybe any diseases. Like maybe their technology could open the door in some crazy ways. We'll have to wait and see. Someone out there wants to talk with me. Remember this place? It's almost nostalgic at this moment. This weird trench on Havarl. Apparently they want to meet me here, in like the most dangerous spot. They can't just like go to like this. They can't just go to like go hang out at like a nice, you know, Angara outpost. I guess I don't know who it is that's contacting me. I made the probably not accurate assumption that it was Solarian, but no, that's probably because this quest is triggered by the fact that Solarian Arc was compromised, and that's why there's a Solarian showing on the quest.
Those are the coordinates we were sent.
That thing about the Solarian Arc, if there's truth to it, we should know. Ket.
What? You mean it was actually a Ket ambush? Oh my god. Why would anyone ambush poor old Pathfinder? Unconscionable. That never happens, ever. Everyone's just floating right now. That's great. Hello. We did it? It's over? Where's this last guy? Where you at? You up here? Hello. How did I miss that? Come on, man.
A betrayal, yes, for us.
Let's look around. They might have left something.
Ket anointed. Biologically similar to Ket chosen. Anointed are armed with a heavy plasma cannon and drive enemies into cover. We fighting something? Oh, hey. Got supplies.
From their gear, they were hoping to capture someone.
Probably me. Sorry about that. Though, if you'd broken a sweat, I'd be sorrier.
You sent us the message about the Solarian Arc?
Yes, Major Salin Vaughn, STG, retired, of course.
What's STG?
Special Tasks Group. Back home, we were field agents who gathered intelligence and handled inconveniences.
Just say assassinated people.
If you prefer. As I said, these days I stick with retiree.
Espionage is a job that follows you home. Or across galaxies.
Until there's nothing for it but to grow a conscience. Let's be frank, there are too many inconsistencies aboard our Ark. They only make sense if someone betrayed us to the Ket. My best suspect is a biologist, Dr. Adden, but the evidence is thin. I need a Pathfinder to verify what I've found, or I risk arresting an innocent man.
Who's Adden? Why would he betray his Ark?
An ex-military biologist from the early wake-up team on our Ark. He claims to be studying the Ket. As for why, I intend to ask him.
Couldn't Reika help you solve this?
I trust Reika implicitly, but I can't say the same for her team. You're obviously trustworthy. If you were involved, you wouldn't have saved our Ark in the first place.
All right, I'm in. How do we catch your traitor?
I only have 2 leads left. Dr. Adden's equipment and a Ket who might be his handler. I need you and your Sam to analyze them. If we show Dr. Adden's in regular contact with the Ket, that would prove he's the one.
What if the evidence doesn't implicate Adden?
If I'm really that rusty, I suppose I'd have to start over from scratch. Remember Dr. Adden's equipment and his Ket contact. This has to be watertight. Good luck.
Huh. Oh, we're going to Vold. Dang it. Always another reason to go back to these planets that I think I've closed the book on. Vold, really? Okay. So it goes. Dry rations. They're just food rations. Yeah, scanning what they left behind was actually totally and utterly irrelevant, as it turns out. Oh well. Warp on back and go to Vold now. Welcome back to the ice planet. I bet you we visit it 3 more times for side quests. Why would he betray his own people, though, is what I'm wondering. Like, how does the time scale work out for that? Because, like, we had all just arrived here around the same time, because it's the Arks, which were a year late.
Leaving Avaril. Bridge is yours, Pathfinder.
I guess that's the thing that we need to specify was, is Dr. Adden, are they a member of the Nexus or the Ark? Did he already specify that? I don't think I was looking for that detail, so I don't remember if that came up or not necessarily.
We're going to need to research the Ghost Storm tech for the other Pathfinders as soon as we can.
I already did research the ghost tech. You just don't pay attention. Why don't you pay attention to things I've already done? I pressed the button. It was one button. Why couldn't someone else press the button? Oh yeah, that's the important details. Was he on Nexus or was he on Ark? Because if he's on Ark, it'd be really hard to reconcile how he was able to somehow meet a Ket and then communicate with a Ket apparently, and then go on to betray his team for the Ket over the span of what must have only been like days or weeks because of how little time there is between there must have been between the Salarians arriving and their Ark disappearing, because like their first goal would have been to make contact with the Nexus. Hopefully. I'm not really sure what to think about that.
Approaching the LZ.
But if he is a member of the Nexus and not the Ark, then he would have had an entire year, which at least makes the timeline possible. Although no one really seems to be able to communicate with the Ket ever. But then why would he work for the Ket? Like, was he captured by the Ket and threatened by them, I suppose, like everyone else is? Maybe they have his family or something like that, and they're manipulating him in some way? There'd have to be some kind of contrivance, I think, to make... There'd have to be some kind of contrivance to make the whole thing work. Because, holy shit, why would you betray... Why would you just decide, yeah, I'm gonna work with the horrible enemies that are going to kill everyone I care about? Great plan. Let's see, let's double check real quick. Is there... They seem to both be mandatory, so let's start off with the equipment, I suppose. And we'll do what we can as we go. It's right up there with, like, betraying people for the Reapers, but the Reapers... at least have the ability to indoctrinate people.
Hey, can you help me with something? There's a wraith cloaked near you. I lost its movement. Will you scan for it and let me know where it's hiding?
Environmental temperatures are within acceptable limits.
Hello, surprise new objective. Alright. Let's get distracted for a second. How are there still more quests? I thought I found them all. How are there more? This one's kind of amusing, though. The idea of there just being a sudden wraith that just kind of takes off. I really should have hopped to the Nomad. That would have been the smart thing to do. It's right around here. But the idea is that only I can pick it up. With my super duper mega scanner.
Got it. Over here.
Impressive shot. Been tracking that thing all day. Thanks for the help.
Do I get to meet the mystery sniper?
Only right. Come find me.
Is he on top of the building? Maybe? He might. Oh, he's just standing there at that one spot. Huh. You've been tracking that guy all day, huh? In this open field? Hi.
There you are.
Nice shot back there.
Thanks. My father taught me as soon as I was old enough to hold a gun.
I'm glad I'm not on the business end of that thing.
As long as you're not Ket, you're safe.
You ever shoot Remnant out here?
I don't see them too often. I heard there's a big one somewhere, but I never found it.
The Architect? Yeah, I got it.
You did? Now I'm impressed.
Do the Ket come around here a lot?
Only some. Resistance patrols keep most from getting through. I pick off the stragglers. Usually wraiths like the one you helped me with.
You ever miss one?
Miss? Never.
You ever think of joining the Resistance? They'd be lucky to have you.
I want to, but my family would never allow it. Not after my brother.
Your brother was a sharpshooter too. Nirav.
How'd you... Jarl? Stars, you were his friend.
He was a good man. Fought hard for his people.
I want to follow his example, but my family...
This is your call.
This is what you truly want.
It is. I want to help.
Then tell them. I've met your father. He'll listen.
You're right. It's time I speak to my family.
Wow. Sure is easy to change people's lives. Wander in as a stranger, bring Jal along, have one conversation, completely change the direction their entire life goes in forever. Interesting pathing there. I am surprised there's still more to find, but yeah, there are some surprisingly missable ones. It's the kind of... If it was something like The Witcher, I would call it confidence, that they, like, are willing to invest such resources into totally missable quests.
Life support restored.
But unfortunately, none of the quests are ever really that impactful. I don't have a lot of those moments like in The Witcher or even some of the Mass Effect games in the past where I'm like, holy shit, this was an optional quest. In this one, I'm kind of like, oh, look, an optional quest. There's more. Look how cool it was. I fought one thing. Oh, wait, no, I didn't. I scanned it, and it got shot. Alright. Bye. The end.